I know y'all haven't seen my face in a while, and I'm sure that you've been wondering where we've been. Well, for the last couple of months, it's probably been the most incredibly difficult of my entrepreneurial life. As of February 13th, the company went through a global restructure, and as a result of that, that meant that I no longer own the company.
Welcome back. That is our guest, Pinky Cole, sharing on social media last month about the loss of her multi-million-dollar plant-based restaurant chain known as Slutty Vegan, which got into financial challenges in 2023. Pinky, you were talking to us about the break. You know, you had this huge success. The people who came in to help with the company, what made you trust them?
Because I'm a trusting person, and as a new entrepreneur, an official entrepreneur, I'm green, right? So I don't know what I don't know.
So
right?
you'd never taken any business courses, anything like that?
Never. I've had businesses before, but not in this capacity.
So this
right?
was truly a magic in the bottle thing.
This truly has been a unicorn experience for me.
Wow.
Even the bad situations, because, you know, I laugh now because it's almost like I went to Harvard University of restaurants.
Yeah.
Because it cost me a couple $1 million to learn the lessons, but I did. And when I brought these people in, I was hiring for the heart. Right? But hiring for the heart is not enough.
That's what I wanted to know.
You understand what I'm
That's
saying?
what
Like,
you know,
it's important now that I know, I need to hire expertise, people who have scaled businesses before, people who have the same mindset and ethos that I do. If they don't have that, then they can't go. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That was important.
That's it. This past February, you said you were left with no choice but to give up control and ownership of your company. Why?
Financially, I couldn't do it anymore. You know, it went from having $10 million in real estate to selling the real estate to make sure that everything was good for the business to having to fund payroll myself. I couldn't do it anymore. I could not. I literally, mentally, I was dying on the inside. And here I am. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, and I had to make a decision. Was it my personal life, or was I going to let this business kill me? And I'm not letting this business kill me. Yeah. And
I want to go back to what you were talking about. You know, you realize there's some problems and you start looking under the hood.
yeah,
What did that feel like?
betrayal, hurt, ignorance. I felt a lot of guilt because I'm like, well, if I would have did this differently, if I would have been more active, maybe if I didn't have kids, this wouldn't have happened. Like, so I started beating myself up at first.
What was the sign that when you pull up the hood and you say, oh my gosh, my business is in trouble? What was that?
I was losing $100,000 a week. So I had to come up with an additional $100,000 every single week. And I came into my company as a new hire. When I came back in 2024, I didn't even know where the bones were buried, right? I literally felt like a new hire. So I'm asking other people questions about my business. And at that point, I said, oh no, that's not gonna work. So I've been in my business since January 2024, but you ever been on a ship or you ever watch a ship sink and you realize no matter how much water you try to take out the ship, nothing could save it. And that's exactly where I was.
So you had to give up the ownership. What does that mean? Because I know that there's sometimes businesses go under and there's bankruptcy. That's not what happened to you.
That's not what happened. So I want to be very clear. Bankruptcy is a little bit different from what I did. I did an assignment for the benefit of creditors. And this is really a coaching moment for entrepreneurs. An assignment for the benefit of creditors is when the company is assigned to an estate or an assignee, right? And that person comes in and sells off the assets so that they can pay back the creditors. So I wasn't forced into it. Obviously, you know, I was encouraged to do it, and for a long time I fought it because I was thinking about my name and my reputation and this beautiful brand that I built, and because I'm not just a successful woman, I am a Black successful woman. You understand what I'm saying? So there are little girls around the world that feel like they can because of me. So I was no longer thinking about myself. I was thinking about, what are they going to think if they think that I failed? And I couldn't have that happen. But then I decided one day, they're going to see courage. They're not going to see failure. And because of that, I can win. And I'm so glad that I did it.
You were also, at the time all of this was happening, this part of your life is in this tumultuous, chaotic space. and then you have a devastating car accident. You are driving, a mattress flies.
That's why I gotta laugh.
You are a strong woman. It went through your windshield at 70 miles per hour.
Yeah.
This is the accident.
Yeah.
It is one of those moments, Pinky, where I know they say you're not supposed to question why, but how do you process the business? And now this happens.
I almost lost my mind. And I don't know if anybody in the audience have ever felt like I'm gonna lose my mind. Everything is falling apart. Everything is falling apart. I almost lost my marriage. And I feel like God had to throw a daggone mattress at me so I could get some rest. And you know what life does? Life will make you put things into perspective so that you can get still to prioritize what is important, because we only got one life to live. And I made a choice in my mind that I'm going to live my life so intentionally. And not an investor, not a bank, nothing can derail me from building this billion-dollar company that I know that I have in my back pocket, and that's how it's going to be.
Coming up, how Pinky is rebuilding her company and the lesson she hopes every entrepreneur or person with an entrepreneurial spirit learns from what she's gone through. We're back with Pinky Cole.
Coming up, Pinky honors 2 members of her team who she credits with getting her through her darkest hour.
I just want to say thank y'all, because days when we could not pay the bills, y'all were there.
How she's paying her success forward with the ultimate surprise.
They didn't know that.
They didn't know this.
No.
Next.